Hello, and welcome to Fluffed Up, a podcast for furries, by furries, that caused Wolfletech's arm to hurt a lot.
After a few months of waiting and being told by HR, it's coming for educators. It's coming for educators. It's coming for educators.
You stop shaking my chair, I'm scared.
It finally came.
So, actually, didn't you get your vaccine the same day I did?
I got mine Friday.
Okay, I got mine Thursday. But the difference is I got my second one. You got your first one.
And that's because you're first responders. So
I'm a first responder, and I was actually on the back list of first responders. So, like, in first responder sense, I was on the tail end of them.
Yeah, so like educators in Wisconsin got were a part of the phase that started March 1st. And like all of the schools around us were like, "Oh yeah, we're already done. We're already done. We're just sitting over here being like,
please, may I have a pokey?"
Yeah, and then we actually figured out it was actually better that way because they were gonna give as soon as possible some of the Johnson and Johnson to the other schools.
Oh boy, the people that make napalm.
Well, here's the thing. Some of us were actually, like, I was mentioning to some of my coworkers.
Or was it Agent Orange?
I don't know.
I think it was Agent Orange.
Anyway, like, we were talking with, other than the fact that this last week I was the librarian as well as the tech guy.
I'm aware.
That's a different story. And I was also watching Emmy. So that's why the podcast was going to happen like last week, but now it's this week because, yeah.
Welcome to the first podcast of 2021. We looked at the first podcast of 2020, and let me tell you, that one didn't age well.
It did not. Go look back at last January, and it's a precursor.
It's one of those things where, like, the end of the world happens, and then you look back at all the signs, you're like, oh!
Well, that was the one that we called Stuffed Up.
Yeah, because we got sick.
We both got sick. Now,
we still don't believe it was COVID, but
I'm fairly certain because I look back at some of my messages I sent to family, my mother and stuff, who's a nurse, and it was ridiculously like, oh.
So, I guess one of the shorter things we're going to cover near the start is the vaccine and how in the fandom currently there is some drama about who deserves to get it.
Well, so here's the thing. I've gotten some back and, like, I don't jump to conclusions right away.
But the conclusions are being thrown around, so it's fun to speculate.
The thing is you don't brag about it.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Like, you could just say you got it.
So,
but the fact that you brag about it, that's when people get mad.
The worst, what I would say is a few things. One, don't post your card to social media. Two, don't post...
Can't people find your name that way?
Well, it shows your name, your birth date, your, which batch you got.
That's like... Four-fifths of the way to getting yourself a credit card in their name.
Exactly.
Speaking of which, if anyone wants to take out a credit card in my name, good luck. My credit is awful.
We're not going to go there. But yeah, that's it. The thing is you don't, like, there's a difference between waiting your turn and bragging about it. Now, I had a good friend of ours. When I posted something about it, messaged me directly saying, like, was this targeted towards me? I'm just like, no. You probably deserved it more than other people that got it.
I honestly, during this, have you watched the movie 2012, right?
Yeah, it's
the wonderful Nick Cage film.
We figured out the Aztecs were dyslexic and got the two numbers switched around.
Obviously. But, it's like if you're acting like that Russian lady who's like bragging that she's getting into the Ark to everybody who doesn't know about the Ark. Like, without that lady bragging,
yeah,
the main characters wouldn't have figured out a way to survive either.
Yeah. I mean, the whole thing is, like, I mentioned, so we're recording this March 20th. I'm just gonna date this
320.
Episode. So 20 days ago,
almost
my section became eligible for the shot.
Yeah.
Some some of the other teachers in the state are getting their second shot as of like 2 weeks ago.
And for anyone who does not know how the shots work, I don't know who you are, but you have to have a month between period. But like you have exactly a month before you get your next shot. Now the thing about it is I don't know if it's counts the 31 days or 30 days. All I know is I got mine on February the 14th, and then I got mine on March the 14th.
They loosely say a month when it's 4 weeks. So
4 weeks and a month are two very different things, though.
Not really. It's maybe 2 or 3 days.
A lot can happen in 2 or 3 days.
The thing is, in the medical community, it's easier to go by weeks than it is months because of it's consistent.
Yeah.
There's always 7 days in a week. Unless you're some weird, we don't believe in calendars type stuff. That's just how it be. But the other thing is like, you don't actively go out and say, hey, this is how you game the system.
Joke's on you, I don't believe in the concept of time. I'm immortal.
Yeah, you get your second shot.
Honestly, after the second shot, I mean, I'm still suffering from, like, I had full body fatigue yesterday, and I had the busiest delivery day of my life. I had 41 deliveries.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I made stupid amounts of money in tips because it was also stimmy day. So
yeah.
Everyone's spending their stimmies and giving the drivers better tips.
And the other thing is,
But back to the actual.
well, like
topic.
with me, it was we call it normally double Happy Friday, where it's a Friday and it's also payday. It was triple Happy Friday for the first time ever because our entire district got the first round of shots.
And you got your stimmy.
Well, I got mine like last week already.
Well, still, like that Friday is the first Friday with your stimmy. So you got your paycheck, you got your stimmy, and
Yeah.
you got your shot.
But that's the thing is like there's like all joking aside, go get vaccinated when you're able to.
Yes.
With how they're doing it from here on out in Wisconsin is by medical condition. Part of the reason why that is they're able to now, within reason, like, they did it by occupations. But the issue is Chewy, you go deliver to a school, right, on occasion?
On most days. Because teachers can't go and get food.
Some places and some other states have been considering that, well, I go to a school, therefore I should go get my vaccine.
Yeah.
And so, like, I know some delivery drivers have been doing that because they're like, well, I deliver to hospitals and schools, therefore I should go get it.
Yes.
But the issue with that is in every other case, are you a healthy individual?
I'd say so. I have to be in contact with more people than you probably meet in like a week.
Well, yeah, but other than that, like, more than likely if you got it, which you did, and so did I, we both kind of survived.
We also got very lucky, and we didn't actually get a really bad strain of it.
Yeah, I mean, it sucked. It hurt.
Everything was bad.
But, like, we were able to recover from it. And that's the thing is, the reason why educators were brought up is I work with a lot of teachers that are over 60 years old.
Yeah, so that's definitely going to be a thing that comes into effect. Is like, I'm a delivery driver, but I'm also a firefighter. One of those puts me higher on the list than the other because I'm actively working in public safety. And let's be honest, when you're on a fire call, no one's wearing masks because you are huffing it. You are going full blast, doing whatever you can. You can't, like, I've been working out with a mask on to, work up a stamina, but you can't be in those situations. So you need to be getting that shot.
Well, see, and it is doable to wear a mask in athletic, but you're also in people's spaces where they were maybe sleeping at the time, helping them out. The other thing with that is, it's a different. I know this firsthand because it's almost coming up to a year. from when my father passed. That was the beginning of the pandemic. We were 2 weeks in when that occurred.
Yeah.
And it's one thing to not be able to shake a hand, hug somebody, or just kind of talk without a mask on when this first started.
Yeah, it's been...
But the thing is I've come to terms and realized that with the whole pandemic right now, I've been wearing a mask almost for a full year now at work, and I've worked fine. The kids at work are playing sports, and when they're playing sports, they're wearing masks. Well, they're supposed to be, but that's a different story.
I mean, yeah, and that's the thing. But I guess the difference in that with firefighting versus just regular sports is one is life-threatening.
Well, yeah, but where I'm getting at is you now are a lot more protected.
Yes.
And the fact that since you're fully, like, in 2 weeks, you'll be fully...
They told me I'll be as immune to it as possibly can be.
Yeah. You can now hug somebody who has just had their house burned down. Sometimes that's just something that you need. When something life-threatening or sad happens to your life, a hug will maybe help.
I still don't think they'd want to hug me in fire gear. Trust me, that
No.
stuff, that gear is it's literally I'm walking around in a cancer suit. It's like the opposite of a fursuit. It's literally cancer.
Advice of an educator. A 5-year-old and a 5 and 6-year-old kids don't care. When they're upset, they'll hug whatever's moving.
I know, but as the person in the cancer suit,
well, that's why if you ever, I don't know if you guys have this over here, but in the rescue truck, don't they have some like toys or something?
In the command truck, we have stuffed animals.
That's the reason why.
Yes, because
they will hug whatever makes like.
They're usually for car crashes, but we have them for pretty much any kid in a situation.
Yes. So, like, that's the thing is, it's comforting. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing is, you may be a lot more face-to-face than a lot of others. That's why EMT, firefighters, medical professionals are always there. Educators, little Billy wants to go see Grandma eventually, right?
Yes.
So let's not have their teacher...
giving them COVID.
Give it to them, who gives it to Grandma.
And then Grandma dies, and then her dying words are, "You caused this, Billy.
Well,
you caused this."
So that's just kind of the thing, and that's where I know we're ending about the pandemic now. But
I mean, okay, I'm going to put this into perspective. In this period, we would have had over 32 furry-related events we could have discussed since the pandemic started. That's meets, romps, secondary events, other Wisconsin-based events, conventions, all these things. Essentially, each podcast could discuss a event or two. Then this is going off the fact that there's a fursuit romp, there's a fursuit meet monthly. That's already 24 in a year. Then you have all your extras, your cons. That equals out to about 6, 7, 8, depending on what's going on, including any spur-of-the-moment things like when we wanted to host a Dells trip. That's about 32 missed events. And that's not including like going and hanging out with friends, going on random adventures, going to the park. Like, just things that could have been done. So there is a lot that we can't talk about because it didn't occur. And that's kind of what you got to put it into perspective is just the big picture of this was built as a furry thing. A lot of furry is gone. I could talk about my VTuber rig for an hour, but like...
See, and that's the thing is, it's the same thing with me and content right now.
It's hard to make content because you just don't have that.
I just haven't had time. But put it into extra perspective, like, so pre-pandemic, I was a tech guy maintaining Chromebooks of the middle school from time to time.
Yeah.
we completely 180'd our entire system where now the Chromebooks are at home. They bring it to school with them. And it's just mind-boggling how much that changed.
Yeah.
Like, we're getting back in the school realm. We're getting back to getting things back on track.
Yep.
And yeah, I know you have a thing, so
We're good.
if you want to know why I was laughing at Chewy, is he's participating in Mr. Beast's finger thing. So
Finger thing.
thing.
It's a finger on the button thing, and I figured it may as well be fun to try it out. The fun will be I'm going out with Jensen later today, so I'm going to be doing it while on the road.
Well, at least with on the interstate, because when you're on the interstate, usually there's a lot of cell signal there.
Good reminder. Turn off Wi-Fi. Because we figured out, because my place still has internet issues, it's more stable to keep myself on a data connection.
I can already see part of the issue. That wasn't bent the last time I was here.
What?
The coaxial cable.
Is it bent?
Yes.
Where?
You see how it's down?
Yeah?
Look at the wall.
Oh.
It's supposed to be at 90 degrees.
Huh. Oh,
You're going to Menards, right?
Yeah?
They make right angle coax connectors. Get one.
Okay. Well, send me what I need to get and I'll go find
It'll
one.
be next to the landing lights of Menards.
Oh. The golden symbol. Is this a Menards? Yes.
Can you see it from the interstate?
Yes. What's up with Menards? Why is that Menards just has the beacon of like humanity in its window?
It just shows you that they sell lights pretty much, and they just leave them on all the time. Do you remember?
How much does that cost?
Well, most of them are LED now, so not as much.
Okay, fair, but like.
However, were you ever in that area back in the day when we only had incandescent light bulbs?
Yeah.
It was always 20 degrees warmer.
Yeah. I remember as a young child just wandering through a Menards.
It's kind of smart. They put that right next to the entrance.
Artificial heat.
Exactly. Menards is a
it's
Midwest
stupid.
thing, so you always have to think heat. That's why actually most grocery stores, they actually reuse their heat from their coolers and stuff to heat the building.
That's actually smart. So we've seen now with people getting the vaccine that like there's thoughts that okay, cons will be returning. But at the same time we're seeing more and more cons that are happening later on in the year canceling this year's activities and possibly not being cons anymore. Like they're done because they can't afford to keep it going.
Reality just announced theirs.
Yeah.
The issue that was also brought up was this year if locally if they have to cancel it, it's not going to be postponed. It's just going to be flat out canceled.
Yeah.
Because you're condensing everything you did in 52 weeks into 25 weeks. That means every single weekend that place has something going on.
Yeah.
And it's locked in. Therefore, if you need to move from, let's just say, June to January,
Yeah.
highly unlikely chance of doing that. So they're just going to probably cancel it and then just go on the next year.
So do we have any word on Aquatifer? Because they were quite late to the party to cancel. And with the area that they're in, as long as vaccines keep going, that should be...
Keep in mind, October.
Yeah, that's the thing, is like, we're looking at cons that are happening in the later parts of the year.
Yeah. So, like, Wisconsin Furs wise, we're bringing things back online. Slowly. And safely. The thing is we don't have... there's First Square and Aquatifer. They're independent, but like Wisconsin...
First Square just had its online.
Yeah. Wisconsin Furs, like, nonprofit wise, there's the Picnic, which is still being determined. It's probably going to be a later year because we got flexibility with that.
Yeah.
All of our events are outside. First Ski didn't happen. The camp out is going to happen in a changed sense.
Yeah.
As well as we're determining feasibility of other things. But at least camp out's running. Rough out is not. First Ski next year's on pretty much at this current moment.
Yeah. We should be back to working capacity by next year as long as everything goes 100%.
Well, and that's the thing is,
now, will it?
outdoor,
That's the thing.
Yeah. Outdoor activities are a lot safer now. People know that state parks exist in the state of Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Did you hear about, like, the state budget, they were worried, it's going to go, like, to crap because of COVID. The DNR brought in a huge chunk of change because they're like, oh yeah, you can get the passes online now. So people were like, hey, like, Blue Mountain State Park is just right over there. They've got hiking trails. Let's go.
We
believe
during
they
the pandemic, we went to Pike Lake quite a bit.
I believe that they sold at least twice the amount of state park stickers as the year before.
I always have been saying, if you can order them online, they will generate more profit.
Yeah,
If you cannot get your item online, you're going to be losing profit because some people don't want to have to drive out there to do it. So they just want to be able to order it and have it shipped to their house.
The issue with that was, depending on the agency selling it, they get a cut. So they had to modify their system temporarily. Whereas, like, if you bought it for Pike Lake, technically, like, $5 of that goes towards the Friends of Pike Lake for maintenance. The rest goes to the DNR. So, like, if we go to the visitor center just over there, they get a cut of that.
Yeah.
But if you order it online, how do you track that?
Yeah, that's true.
So they had to modify that. But yeah, so I mean, this is going to be a shorter episode just due to the fact of there's not a lot of furry stuff going on. And
we're going to be trying to get back into the swing of things, and me and Wolfletech are probably going to be start writing up proper episode notes to cover, just to fill for the time with such limited things we actually have to talk about. Like, we used to be able to kind of just go on and on because there was all this stuff. But, this past year, it's been hard to even make them because, like...
Yeah.
Between this episode and the last episode, literally not much happened. That's the thing.
Other than Wolfletech being in a panic attack literally every single day because of work.
That's a different story. You could just visit Wolfletech's Twitter for that one.
Oh, boy. But yeah,
and Wolfletech, that's...
So, whatever.
It's at Wolfletech everywhere.
I wasn't going to do it. If you don't know where it is by now...
You always gotta say it in case this is someone's first episode. If this is your first episode, I'm really sorry because...
Well, if this is your first episode, please email us at info@fluffedup.us. Sorry, I had to do that one since you made me... But yeah, the whole thing is we're also looking to add more guests onto the show.
Yeah, we are going to be...
We have a system now that we can actually bring guests in remotely.
And we will be. We have a few people already lined up. It's just scheduling the time properly and, bringing up topics where we, interview a person a bit.
We still got to bring that person in from 4 months ago.
Listen, we haven't done a podcast in 4 months, so...
It's been more than 4 months, I think.
Anyways, we'd like to thank you for watching. You can check out me at Chewy's Cuz on Twitter and Twitch, and Chewbacca's Cousin on YouTube. Or did I shorten it to Chewy's Cuz? I think I shortened it to Chewy's Cuz on YouTube as well. You can visit Wolfletech at everywhere. And if you'd have a question, concern, or thing you'd like to tell us, there is info@fluffedup.us. What is it?
Fluffedup.us.
Fluffedup.us. Or you can message us on our on Fluffed Up Pod on Twitter.
Fluffed Up Cast.
Fluffed Up Cast on Twitter.
Man, we need to post things more on there.
Fluffed Up Pod sounds better. Anyways, thank you guys so much.
If you also really want to know, we have a subreddit that we never use.
It's there for when it's time. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us today, and we will see you later. Have a good day, and goodbye.
Bye-bye. Outro.